Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I had something interesting to talk to you guys about NBA wise. We got Marvin Bagley, who the Kings have essentially said they're going to sit him to start the season. He will not be in rotation. Um, they said that they don't have plans for him, and his representation released a statement essentially saying that the Kings have passed up on deals that could have involved Marvin Bagley, and what they chose to do was just hold on to him with, and not really have him in their plans. Uh, you know, some would see it as mismanagement. I would agree. Overall, they've done a terrible job with Marvin Bagley since drafting him, and in my opinion, it came down to just them picking a player they knew they shouldn't have picked. Uh, they should have went with Luka Doncic. Everybody knew that, and they made their decision to go with Marvin Bagley because they were gung ho. Vlade Divac was running the show at the time, and they were gung ho about just bringing in a player that Vlade just thought was better than Luka Doncic. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. There wasn't nothing logical about that at all. That day for anybody that was paying attention. I don't know if you agree with me, but that sounded as stupid then as it does right now. Like, I like Marvin Bagley because as a player, he's projected to be a shot blocker who can do a lot of things on the inside for you. A traditional big, somebody with the type of skills that if he makes it to his highest peak will be a very good defensive 4-5 big man in this league who should be able to rebound quite a bit, ignite a crowd, dunking the ball, doing things like that. But he's not particularly good shooting the ball. He doesn't really have crazy like ball handling skills or guard type skills, so he's more of a traditional big. Although he can be used pretty much everywhere, he's not really somebody that you think is changing life for you. I don't understand at all, other than, um, let me finish the sentence. I don't understand not playing him if you're the Kings unless you have a deal in place to trade him. Now, we do see other teams doing that. For example, Kyrie Irving's being set out until he either takes the vaccine or is traded. I think it'll be the vaccine that he takes at some point, but I don't think he's in a rush for that right now. I think he's going to let this era play itself out. So you see the Nets ultimately sitting him instead of allowing him to play the road games that he's allowed to play. Um, John Wall and the Rockets have come to an agreement that they're not going to play him until they have a deal in place. It looks like Ben Simmons will probably be set, even though Philadelphia is kind of not sure about how to go about things right now. It looks like they'll probably have to go that route eventually. Um, and now Marvin Bagley's just being set as well. I personally think those players are all going to be involved with trades for each other. Though, I really believe that. But uh, I still wonder if there's something else going on for Marvin Bagley to just be getting set. Um, do they have a deal in place with a team, and are they waiting for certain things to manifest so that deal can be triggered? Because I know Ben Simmons is imminent to go somewhere, and I'd imagine that Daryl Morey's fielding all types of calls, and I'm pretty sure a team like Sacramento, whose main piece would likely be Marvin Bagley, uh, they don't want to take any chances with a player like Marvin, who's had a lot of injury issues, who tends to just miss games. They don't want to take a chance. They would rather him be healthy, sitting down, um, and then from there going forward. I remember that the Cleveland Cavaliers did the same thing with Andre Drummond, which is why I felt like he wasn't in the greatest shape when he got to the Lakers. It was because he had been sitting for nearly 3 months waiting for a trade. So this could be a situation like that. But you feel bad for a guy like Marvin Bagley, who's in a really important year in his career. He's not in his ninth or 10th year. What is this, year 6, year 5, something like that? Probably year 5 for a guy like Marvin. Uh, so this just is not good. He is healthy. He's ready to go. Um, and I think this would have been a good season for Marvin Bagley. Hey, look, at the end of the day, what people need to understand about Marvin Bagley is, push come to shove, he's a double-double every night. I mean, they got guys out there that he's comparable to. You think of a guy like Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis is comparable, in terms of not necessarily style, but in terms of what you would expect from them production wise. I think of a guy like Montrezl Harrell. That's the kind of guy I think Marvin Bagley is. He can do those things for you, and it's not like you need him to be some extraordinary player. I think the problem that the Kings are dealing with is the fact that they just simply drafted him to be something that he could never be, and that's Luka Doncic or Trae Young. I mean, you're never, ever, ever gonna see Marvin Bagley become that, man. That's just not who he is. He's a fantastic player on the defensive end when he's healthy, but he has to get healthy and get strong. Once that happens, he's going to be really good. But he's capped off by his limitations, and I think that's okay. I really don't think that's the end of the world. He just needs to stop being treated as if he did something wrong because he's not Luka Doncic. And I felt the same way about DeAndre Ayton in Phoenix and how he's not getting his money. I just think it's a whole lot of that bullcrap going on. Looking at Atlanta, looking at Dallas, and seeing how great those players are, and knowing that they had an opportunity to get those guys that didn't take them themselves. I don't know really what to say other than that. To be honest with you guys, I mean, I just feel like the players' production in this case with Sacramento, it's not his fault. If he hasn't developed into what you want him to be, it's because you haven't put him in a position to be that. And that's what I think of the Sacramento Kings, and they haven't done a good job of that with that particular player. Now that they have a whole young core full of players, he fits. I look at what they have going on down there with Halliburton. You look at what they have, obviously, with De'Aaron Fox in place. You got Sean Holmes. You got Davion Mitchell. Marvin Bagley fits just fine at that 4 spot, so long as he can hit that mid-range jumper and be decent from the free throw line. All the other stuff that he does naturally fits right in with what you do. So not playing him doesn't make your team better, especially if you don't have a deal in place for him. Especially if you're not sure the deal that you have in place is really going to make you a better team, for which I'm not sure it is, depending on what they plan on doing. So, I don't know. It seems like the team that he's on right now, this roster, is more fitting for him than any other Kings roster he's been a part of. You know what I mean? I would have said the same thing about Markkanen and the Bulls this year. It's like, now that they had Lonzo there, this fit more than any team you've ever been a part of. But, it is what it is. I think Sacramento is going to be just fine either way. Don't get it twisted. I think because they have those trio of fantastic guards and that really, really good center signed on, I think that's a good enough team to start making some noise for themselves as a franchise. But I'm curious to see what they're going to do. If they plan on bringing in Ben Simmons, you know what I mean? If they can pull that off, or if they're planning on bringing in Pascal Siakam. I know that was a deal that Marvin Bagley was rumored to be a part of, although Toronto said they're not interested in trading Pascal. It's a lot of things that could happen right now. Maybe they can get in the mix for John Wall, even though that makes absolutely no sense. It's an option, things that teams do, who knows. But I'm saying, at the end of the day, this Marvin Bagley situation, it's unfortunate. The kid deserves better. I hope they find a deal for him rather quickly. I'm sure you can envision a nice front court in Philadelphia with him and Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond, that trio in rotation that gives them a lot of size. Tobias Harris, so I could totally see maybe they get lucky and swing Ben Simmons. I could totally see that. And if that's the case, sitting Marvin Bagley makes a lot of sense. You don't play around like that. Make sure he's healthy. So I get it. I just don't know exactly what it is they're doing. You think but Bagley's representation's upset. And they're saying they're passing up on deals they should have made, essentially. So we'll see how this plays out, man. Yet another disgruntled player in the NBA. My name is BDL44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.